Hi there, I am Judith Obazele, aka Miss J, and this is my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. If this is your first time being here, please do not make it your last, and thank you once again. And for my returning family members, thank you so much for always coming through, for always showing up. I really do appreciate that a whole lot. Okay, so today I would actually be talking on blood sisters. And yes, I know I have talked about it before, but I'm talking about it again today because, like I said in the previous video, which I will be sharing the link in the description box below if you haven't seen it, I actually ended that video by saying that there is still so much I want to say. And yes, today I will be saying that so much, okay, because man, I just knew I had to just release everything. I just had to pour it out. I had to pour out everything, and I will definitely be doing that today. All right, so I actually have some other things I would just like to buttress and talk about apart from the ones I shared in the previous video. And first on the list today is actually deceit. Now, they say it also, first of all, in the part of, not first of all, majorly on the part of Kola and Akin. And it was actually Kola here that actually did the deceiving. And then in the previous video, I actually talked about being careful about the kind of friends that you choose and trying to really know the people you call your friends. Okay, try to actually know them intimately or deeply. Just get to know them, okay, because many times you claim to know people, but truth is you really do not know them. And truth is people actually would let you know them to the extent to which they want you to know them. So you would actually know a person based on how much the person has actually shown his or herself to you, shown him or herself to you. Okay, that is the extent to which you actually know the person, except the person actually gives you, that much space and room for you to actually get deep into his or her life, or for you to actually interfere in his or her personal affairs. And it's just like social media. The truth is, all the things you see on social media is just what people want you to see. Whether they are true or not, you really do not know. You cannot tell because you're not there, right? So I think that is how life is, and that is how friendship is, or that is how getting to relate to people is to an extent. You actually get to know a person based on what the person wants you to know. So if I come to that and I tell you that my best color is blue, so another day you feel like, okay, you know my best color because that is what I told you. But my best color can actually be red, but I told you that my best color is blue. So you might think you know my best color, but that might not actually be my best color. And eventually you probably buy me something that is blue because it's my best color, and I probably reject it, or maybe I do not act so happy the way you might be expecting. And you're like, why? And I say, because red is my best color, not blue. And I'm like, but you said blue is your best color. So anyways, I think this issue of deceit is actually a really big one. And Kola actually really did that because he revealed to Akin what he wanted to show Akin, because Akin just knew him based on what Kola had actually shown him, because he didn't know the part of him being a woman beater. He just knew he was a very successful person, and he just related with him based on another level, but there were still more things to him that he didn't really know. So deceit is definitely one major thing we could pick out from that. Another another thing I have here is injustice. And this is actually something that is actually very much rampant in our society today. You see a person being arrested for an offense that he or she did not commit. And for those that might have actually committed the offense, there is no fair hearing for them. There's no trial for them, because sometimes they might have done that particular thing based on defense, or they might actually have had really good reasons to do that, and probably if they're given fair hearing, they might actually get the actual justice that they deserve and not having to rot away in the prison, because that is actually what Udwak wanted for Kemi and Sarah. Okay, she didn't get to know what Kola might have done to warrant that. She did not. Her own was just find Kemi and Sarah and let them rot in prison. That was just her own. She just wanted them to be in prison. And it's not like she really wanted to even send them to prison, because at the end we got to see that she was finally brought to her and not actually even taken to jail. Okay, so she actually just even used the policemen to find them, and well, Uncle B as well, but in line with the police men, which is so rampant in the society today. So when they say the police is your friend, well, I really cannot tell, but I just really hope all that will change very soon, all that will, you know, come to an end where we can really actually trust the police. And I think somehow probably that the narrative is beginning to get changed to an extent, but I just really hope it will change totally, and we can always trust those in authority. We can always trust those that have actually been sent there to be of help and security to us all. Okay, so injustice is something that we really need to treat. And before, apart from when we even look at the, well, I say the higher level, even in our families, in schools, in those little areas that you think do not really matter, they actually do matter, because it all starts from there before it even gets up to all those higher levels or something. Okay, so we are all involved, and we really need to all get together and do something about that. The next I have here is your happiness and peace of mind should be your priority. Yes, it should be one of your major priorities in your life, because you just have to avoid anything that would take away your happiness or your peace of mind. And if for any reason you might have to compromise, it has to be for something really, will I say, worth it. It has to be really worth it. Something that would not, will I say, that would not affect your moral values, or that would not go against your moral values or your religious beliefs or whatever. So you should just be for something that is worth it, okay? Because they say life, everything is a risk, life is a risk. But the truth is, there are some risks that are really not important. There are some risks that should actually even be avoided. It's not every risk that is actually safe. Because now in this case, Sarah was actually going to continue with her wedding. Had it been Kim wasn't on her neck to actually either call it off or just talk to Kola and make sure that that doesn't repeat itself again. Okay, she was actually just going to, and besides, since her mother had already told her not to call it off, she was definitely going to go on with it. So no matter what happens, your priority and your peace of mind should always be your happiness, rather. Your happiness and your peace of mind should always be a priority to you. Okay, the next here is actually a mother's love, and we actually got to see this in play through Ichena, that is Sarah's mother. Yeah, I know in the previous video I actually said that she actually messed up a bit as a mother by putting first her own selfish interest rather than ensuring that she protects her child from any harm or danger, okay? Because when Sarah went to meet her to tell her that she didn't want to continue with the wedding because of what Kola had been doing to her, hitting her and all that, she still pushed her and encouraged her to just overlook it, that it was nothing, and to all stop when eventually, you know, getting to the marriage and all that. But I think afterwards, she actually, like, say, got back to her senses. And because when Sarah was able to eventually get across to her, call her, and actually admitted to what was being said on the news of killing Kola alongside Kemi, of killing Kola, okay, so she actually just told her that to make sure she runs, she just keeps running and make sure they do not get her or find her. All right, so at that point in time, I really do not know if it was because of the circumstances at that point in time, for her and her husband, because immediately they could not even find Kola on that engagement day. Woodmark just took back every single thing she had given them, with the money, the business, the properties, the house, every single thing she had given them, she withdrew it from them. Okay, so that's to just say that they just got wrecked, okay, because it didn't even affected my husband's health. It gave me a heart attack. Oh my. So I don't know if it was probably because of the situation at that point in time that made her come back to her senses and realize that, hey, my child's happiness and protection should actually be top on my list. It's actually a priority to me. So I don't know if that was what brought her back to her senses, but either ways, I think she just came back to her senses or something. But that was majorly just a mother's love being at work or being at play there at that point in time. I think I shed a tear. Did I cry at that point in time? Because it was a very, very emotional scene, an emotional part. So I think you just might just have one drop of tears on your face. Okay, so I have next here favoritism, and this is particularly to parents, okay, because in ensuring and fostering a good and a healthy parent-child relationship, this issue of favoritism is not something, it's something that actually let's say prevents that to a very large extent. Why? Because many times we find that parents have one child that they prefer to the other. So I wouldn't say if that is normal, but I don't know if it's actually, I don't think it's actually very healthy. So even if there might be this one child you prefer to the other, it's not something that should be very, very clear. It's not something that you should just show or rub off in the face of the other children or other sibling, okay? Even if you actually do, it should actually be minimized. It shouldn't be shown so often, all right? And I think best still, they should actually just try to be a balance, all right? Because, hey, they're all your children, okay? So you actually have to love them all equally. So even if there might be one you prefer to the other, just try not to rub it off in the faces of the other child or the other siblings, because it will definitely one way or another lead to hatred. It will start to build up jealousy, and from jealousy it will lead to hatred. From hatred, it will lead to something else. And by the time the whole thing escalates, you really would not even know how, okay? But it all started from you just always buying stuff for this other child, or always giving more attention and care and privileges to this other child. Because when a person decides to kill someone, decides to do something bad to a person, it doesn't start from one day. It's not just a one-day thing. You don't just wake up and decide that, hey, I'm going to kill this person, I'm going to do this bad thing to this person. No, it starts from somewhere. And that is because it begins to build up. It's like a build up. And by the time it gets to a point where it cannot be taken anymore, boom. And you're like, oh my goodness. And that was just what happened in the case of Femi and Kola, okay? And this was Udwag that actually really, caused all this, because she preferred Kola more to Femi and Time. And that was, well, she had her own reasons, yes, but I don't think those reasons are actually justifiable. They are not justifiable at all. And that was because her husband cheated on her. That was Femi and Time's father cheated on her. So she decided to have an affair with someone else, and which resulted to having Kola. So she always preferred to treat Kola with more love and care, and gave him more privileges. So this guy was actually the last born of the family, the last child in the house. Okay, so you actually take up the rights of the firstborn and give it to the lastborn. Like, who wouldn't get angry? For heaven's sake, who would not get angry? Like, who would stay and just be happy with that? No one would actually be happy with such decisions any parents would decide to make. Okay, so if you're a parent watching this, please, you should actually try to, work on that. So if you have if you actually prefer one child to the other, you should try to share the love amongst all of your children and not just shower it on one child alone. Okay, just try to minimize it and work on it majorly. Just work on it, because it might not lead to death or one child happens to kill the other. We really cannot say what it could lead to. Okay, we really cannot say honestly, but prevention, as I say, is better than cure, right? So why not prevent it before it leads to something else that would, be so. Okay, so I have next here the power of lovemaking, and this is for couples only, like married couples only, legally married people only, legally married. emphasis on the mind, okay, because I am not here to support PMS, which is premarital sex. I am not here to support that at all. So I actually got to see this at work or at play through Olayinka, or between Olayinka and Femi. Oh my, because they were just everywhere, and they didn't even, it could just happen, they could just do it anyway. So see, it's very, very nice when you and your partner have such chemistry between the both of you, okay, because even if there were times where Uduak said some really nasty things to Femi, and I think there was this one time when they were dining, and Uduak was like talking to Femi. She was like, he should keep quiet and listen to his wife because she has more sense than he does. It's not like she actually likes Olayinka, but she just said that to show that, to tell Femi that he should just keep quiet. He doesn't have the balls. He's not man enough, okay? So even when Olayinka killed this guy, the guy that they initially hired to kill Kola on his wedding day, he was really, really surprised, like, how would you do that? Okay, and she actually did not do it literally. It was the bodyguard, and she was like, she ordered him, okay, like, how would she have such mind to do that kind of thing? And she's not even feeling remorse about it. Before I knew, the next thing, they are all over each other. People that were initially having an argument, okay, that is what like I say, lovemaking can actually do between you and your partners, and that is when you and your partner really have a very deep chemistry between both of you. So I actually wrote down some things here on what it actually does between partners, and the first thing is that it strengthens the bond between partners. Okay, like when it's actually done often, it actually does strengthen the bond between you and your partner, and it also reduces stress. Like it's a very good way, major way of easing off stress, because even when Femi just gets back to the house and is all stressed up, before you know it, Olayinka, after talking and all that, the next thing they are, doing all those stuff and getting really dirty with each other. And the next thing here is that it's actually okay, it is actually a means of settling issues. Yes, it's a means of settling issues. When they're having one argument or the other, the next thing they are all over each other, and boom. Okay, so yes, lovemaking is actually very powerful too. Okay, so you should actually use it more often in marriage. It helps. It works. Yeah, it works. Okay, then here, which is the last on my list, is actually the fall of the queen. I know who the queen is. It is no one other than Uduak herself. And this was actually seen at the ending part where Timei got the gun pointed at her and she had her down on her knees, like a whole Uduak on her knees, begging for her life. Oh my. See, I really did not see that coming. Although to an extent, I just envisioned that. When I say envision, like, am I a seer? I just probably just feel that something will go wrong. Like, Kemi and Sarah cannot just die like that. Like, it's not be fair. After going through so much to come and die just like that, haba, no. So I just felt that something was going to happen at that point in time. When Uduak was like, Femi, if Femi should kill the both of them, if he really wants to take over the pharmaceutical company, and he should kill, to show that he's actually man enough. Yeah, and Olayinka was like, do this thing, do this thing. She was really just getting so mad because she knew apparently her husband cannot do that. He cannot even hurt a fly, talk more of killing someone, okay? So she was really, really getting so, like, say, pissed off and all that. And at that point, I actually felt he was going to like turn the gun at Uduak and probably just shoot her. I'm like, for him to do that, he will first of all have to take out Uncle B, which is Noah, the James Bond of the movie. Like, Uncle B was actually the James Bond of the movie. That's Noah. It was actually the Nigerian James Bond. Like, he just brought in this fierce action and all that. Okay, but I just felt like if they would have to take out Uduak, if they have to kill Uduak, they have to first of all take out Uncle B. So I actually thought that was what Femi was going to do. But immediately Timei is like, I want to take over this company as well, so give me the gun. Let me do this thing and end it here once and for all. And the next thing, she just shoots on Kubi, boom, faces Uduak. I'm like, okay, I did not see that coming at all. And then she sets Kemi and Sarah up. I'm like, okay, so what's gonna happen next? And when Chicago came and they didn't show the other people, I'm like, well, so is that how this is going to end or what? And the next thing we're hearing gunshots, back. Okay, and also that Olayinka and Femi are dead. What? I did not see that far coming. Although Femi and Olayinka were also really big threats to her. Okay, so I think she just had to do what she had to do. Now she has the gun pointed at Uduak, and Chicago, Kemi, Sarah, they're all there. So the question is she actually going to kill Uduak, or will she just let Chicago do his job, just arrest her and take her to prison or something? Well, we really cannot tell. I don't know. I do not know. But if there's going to be a season 2, woo, I really don't know what to expect. But I think we should just stay open and just hope for the best. And I really hope that they will give us nothing less than the best. And I think I also like the way the movie ended. It just gave viewers like an open mind to just, like, say, create something else, either like just create a final conclusion or something, or just give that open will I say that space for viewers to just just imagine and create what could happen next in their head. So I really just think like how the whole thing came to an end. I really do. So is there gonna be a season 2? Let's keep our fingers crossed. Yeah. All right. Thank you so much for watching up until this very point. I really do appreciate that a whole lot. Okay, so don't you forget that I am just a Basile once again, and I do love you very much. Yes, I do. But God loves you best. He really does. All right. So take care of yourself until we meet again. I love you. Bye.
Damn.